Welcome back to Affiliated. We have an exciting video-only episode today because we're going to be diving into how to go from this order form to this order form. Yeah, pretty cool, huh? And so we've brought back my favorite guest, Ashley Langevin, our head of product. Because Ashley, last time you were here, I think you unveiled a new feature. It was CPA at the time that turned into hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars on ClickBank. So I think we only bring you in for what's going to be a big shakeup. And yeah, thank you for joining.
Yeah, no, my pleasure.
Yeah.
My pleasure. Always love to share what we're working on and all the exciting things that we have coming out.
Yeah, no, we've both been here a while, and we both, I think, are happy to see the quote-unquote old order form going away. So before we go into like how to make the order form sexy and optimized for your own landing pages and all that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
I really want to talk about how we got to where we're at with the current default, if we want to call it that, order form, because I know a lot of testing went into that. I don't think a lot of people realize what you do on a daily basis with your team to ensure that the order form is up, is maintained, is loading fast, doing all those fun, sexy things that aren't really that sexy, but they turn into good sales.
I think they're very sexy. So we worked on building out a new order form to process transactions more quickly, to be more optimized for mobile, especially as trends change and more transactions are happening on mobile versus desktop. So we created this new base order form that is more performant, and we tested. Can I swear on this? We tested the out of it.
Our editor's got a great little duck quack that'll pop in there.
Yeah, okay. No, we tested it so much and made sure that it converted higher than the previous legacy order form. We also continuously split test it. Like we test variations, and some of them are visible, and some of them are not. They're in the way the page operates.
How it actually performs.
Yeah.
On technical level.
And like
how do you actually test something like? Because I imagine we're powering the sales funnels for our clients, so it's kind of like it seems like it's like replacing an engine as it's going in the car as it's moving on the freeway kind of thing. How do you test something like an order form, which does have an impact on a client's offer's performance, without, I guess, risk of it going south or going poorly kind of thing? Like, how do you actually, I imagine you have to kind of phase it in. Is that a good assumption?
Initially our split testing mechanism is custom built for us. And when we first introduced it, there was, like, you're not just split testing the order form, you're testing that your split testing is accurate, and that it's not bogging down performance, that it's doing all of the things that it needs to do, and that the way that we're measuring is correct. We spent months on that.
Yeah.
And it's similar to, I think, the way that lots of our users split test, where you're taking a portion of the traffic off and you're running to a variant. And we do a lot of research into what we split test to make sure that we believe that it will increase conversions. So we look at best practices, we look at examples, we spend a lot of time just looking.
Yeah. Do you want to maybe pull up the default order form, and we can kind of maybe talk through its current state and kind of where things are at with it?
Yeah. Yeah. So this is our default order form.
Awesome. Okay. I'd love for you to talk a little bit about how we got to this version that we're looking at right now.
Yeah. So the position of the fields matter. We put email address and phone number first, and we do that for a couple of reasons. One is that it is a recommended flow for like wallet payments, and the other is so that we can do cart abandonment, so that if someone starts this flow, doesn't finish, that it's likely they will have entered that information.
And sorry, does wallet payments mean like Google Wallet, Samsung Pay, Apple Wallet, all that kind of stuff?
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Yep. And then, I mean, the layout, it's so funny to just like look and be like, oh yeah, we had variations of this, we chose this for this. Like even things like the arrangement of the credit card information is done as you would be when you were looking at your credit card. And that's based on best practices. We use external sites that measure how fast a checkout goes through for sources for that, and tested it to make sure that it performed the way that we wanted it to.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I mean the arrangement, even like the smallest details matter, and things we've split tested and added things, like even these pieces of info text below email and phone number, just to provide reassurance to the customer for why we're collecting that information. And like all transactions are secure and encrypted. That constant reassurance that this is a secure checkout, that just create trust and increase conversions, because that's definitely a big factor.
I love it. And then you've got a few things that someone might not have, like a product image. Would that only show up if they actually have loaded a product image into their actual product in ClickBank?
Yeah. So
Gotcha.
in the product editor, you include an image, and a lot of people might not know this, but a few months ago, we changed the maximum size of the image, and this is from my personal demo account. So this is using one that is the old limits where it was 100 by 100, but now it's 300 by 300.
Okay.
And the new order form will load a product image that's larger, 300 by 300, and that is also like a conversion driving thing. So for our existing users who have product images in there that are older like mine, should for sure consider going in and adding larger ones.
Yeah, I know that's what we see with like a lot of like the top offers, order forms. It's a big product image right there.
Yeah.
They're relatively simple order forms. They're usually like branding comes across here. And then you also have, it looks like order bumps. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and those are configured separately from the order form as well. Like there's a section in your ClickBank account where you can add bumps. And we could probably do an entirely separate episode on how to make great bumps.
Yes, that's a whole thing in itself. And so, yeah, what I love is that, I mean, roughly, do you have any idea like how much revenue or how many clicks like this kind of thing would have been tested against before it's AKA the default order form in everyone's ClickBank account?
Hundreds of millions of impressions.
Wow. Okay. So a lot.
A lot. Yeah. A lot. Yeah.
Because there's a question pops up, right? Well, it's a new order form. Did you test this new default thing? I was like, how compared to the old one that's been around for decades kind of thing? Like, have you tested that? It's like, yeah, we tested it.
Not even a little, like months and months and months of optimization and testing over,
And then are there split tests running on this consistently? Like, are you always testing new things against it?
Always,
Okay.
yeah. Always. We test variations all the time. Some of them are really slight, and we like even things like AVS, address verification service, when it pops up, like that all gets tested. It all gets split tested so that we understand the impact to conversions every single time we make a change.
And is there, I know this is probably a scary rule of thumb to say, but is there like a average conversion rate you would expect to have on like a default order form with a good enough offer, I guess, for like a better term?
Oh, that's a very good question. It's hard to say that just because there's so many variables.
Yeah.
The traffic source that it comes from makes a huge impact. Like if the lower quality of traffic, the colder it is going to impact order form conversion rate. But like across the board, we have like a general number that we expect it to see. But even with us, there's variation on a day-to-day basis based on traffic and the offers that are launching and the way that those sellers operate their business. So that's why it's really important to split test rather than just like, oh, I changed it. Did I get an increase in conversions?
Yeah, because the traffic could have changed.
You got to account for those variables, because even for us, testing over millions of transactions with thousands of vendors, we see variations.
Yeah. I remember a client I was onboarding a new client, and they were going to move their traffic to ClickBank, and they were testing our order form versus theirs. And they're like, oh my gosh, your order form's converting like 500% worse. I was like, what? Like, that makes no sense. Like, usually it's 1-to-1, or sometimes we convert better. Like, it just kind of depends. And I look at it, and the sales page that they had that they're testing it said learn more. and then it went to their off ClickBank sales page, which was basically a whole other sales page with an order option on it. So it's kind of like a step 2 versus just our order form. It's like, well, yeah, people are expecting to learn more and not go to a buy option. Like you have your traffic going here. So it's like, this is not the same.
Yeah,
right?
no, I think that's a great
Yeah.
point to bring up, Thomas, is the order form is just part of that customer journey.
Yeah.
And it is important to think about how are you directing to them to
How do you present the offer to
Yeah,
actually buy? That
oh,
often has
absolutely.
more impact than, say, customizing this. But I'd love to talk about how we customize this.
Yes.
Because that has changed in a lot of ways, a lot of very cool, exciting ways. And so how can you can you show, I guess, the example of like the example again of the mock-up, sexy, customized ClickBank supplement thing you put together?
Yeah.
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 And then maybe we can we can go from that to that and then show maybe how we got there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course. Let's jump on in. All right. So this is in my personal demo account and going into our new order form tools where all this sexy customization features live. All right. And yeah, let me go ahead and we'll pull up what example that we have of
Okay.
the end result that we're looking at.
So what are the key things that you've done on this page and why do they matter?
Okay. Great questions. So I will say that you'll notice that these are example images, right? I'm sorry to disappoint everyone. There's not actually an affiliate marketing supplement out in the world. So
I take it actually. And that's why. No.
and that is the secret to your success.
It's like Michael's Secret Juice. Yeah.
Yeah. Excellent reference. So what we did to create these mock images is I looked at the top 100 converting customized order forms that have been used in the history of ClickBank and looked at what are the common patterns that people are using. And we made versions of that so that we could show people the types of images that perform really well. And then we'll talk about some non-image things that really matter, especially when you have a pitch page that has more style to it. I think one of the primary things first and foremost is that header image, right?
Yeah.
It's similar to a headline when you're on a TSL, and this example, like what's being purchased, a nice product image. Even if you have a digital product, I think even putting like either a digital version of the image or like a download image, like the people are visual, right? And then some reassurances right up front. And there are variations that I've seen different examples of that people are.
Yeah, you might put your refund period or something like
Yeah,
that. 60-day refund period or
refund
whatever it is.
period,
Yeah.
fast shipping, like instant download, like any of those like highlights for getting the customer excited right before purchasing, right?
Yeah, I'm guessing you kind of want to overcome you don't want to like add complexity to an order form. You want it to do the job of taking the order and getting them to the next upsell flow, right? But you want to kind of remove any doubts they might have.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, it's a little bit scary sometimes to put your credit card information on a web page. So, I know what I'm getting. I feel confident about what I'm getting. I feel confident about the product. I feel confident about the security. Like the whole purpose is like inspiring confidence.
Yeah.
We just chatted about the header image. There's a couple other images that you'll see that are included here. This is one I would maybe call like a product highlights.
Sizzle reel kind of thing. Yeah. Okay.
And we do. I'll show you. You can add text to an order form, but this is an image so that you get the stars in there, just like reaffirming the benefits. Here, this is one that we see a lot, like that there's kind of this overarching like impression of customer satisfaction
Yeah.
rather than individual testimonials. But just like, yeah, this is a great product. It's trusted by thousands of customers.
And then are these images there above the stars? Those are lovely coworkers, and then Robbie Blanchard there. Are those individual images you've moved around to put there, or is that like one image?
This is one image.
One image, okay.
One image. Yeah. So this is a great question.
And then I guess if there was then that's not the product image, right? If there was a product image, it would show up.
It would show down here.
Okay.
This one happens to be using a different product
Sure,
than the one
yeah.
I showed you that doesn't have one. And I think that's important to note is like if you haven't put a product image in with your product, then there will not
Okay.
be one. So just it's also a very simple, easy way to increase conversions is having a product image.
Yeah. This is for all y'all using the default order forms, and I'm always shocked at how many of you don't even just have a product image on your order forms, because it is one of the biggest probably things you can do just to reestablish that trust. And then I noticed like the background color is gray. Can the background color change?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and we can show that. And one of the most important things there is matching the site that it came from, because you're trying to create this seamless experience. If things are very disjointed, then it can create mistrust.
It's like, wait, where am I now?
Yeah, exactly. So I would say match the background image, match the font. If you have a page that has like a header image or product images, use the same product images again, just so it just feels as seamless as it can be. And then kind of moving.
Ooh, okay. So there's some stuff down below.
Got some stuff down below. So this is an image of like drawing attention to the payment button, right? And there's different examples I've seen of this as well. And we have some resources that we can show folks of other example images that we've put together based on high converting order forms. So like in the context of physical products, like, hey, selling fast, like claim your product. For digital, like access now, or, you're seconds away from the members area, things like this is how you get to the thing that you
unlock
want.
your potential.
Yes.
Yeah, all this. I always love when people tie their call to action around like a result or a benefit they'll get, not just like click here, right? But it's like, no, claim this awesome thing or get start your weight loss journey, whatever it might be.
Excellent tip. Making it specific for sure. And then some testimonials, which are always a nice way to reaffirm trust in the product.
I like that. I do like, I'm sure red, right? I know people always ask about button colors and what's the best color to use. And there's lots of studies that show that red or orange drive action and stuff like that. But, to me, it seems very, if you're testing button colors, I really hope you've tested everything else before then. But what I love about this is that it's contrasting, right? Our branding's blue, the grays, right? You don't want just another blue button there, which people might miss and not really see. You want it to stand out. Right?
I love that you brought that up. So I've looked at a lot of research on button color, more than people probably should. And I mean, there's a lot of like color theory but the hard and fast rule, so you should always test, right? You should always test. Just because you have one result in one way doesn't mean that is a hard and fast rule across. A really good example of this is one of the sellers that I worked with in a previous life had a male and female version of pitch pages where they were positioning it a little bit differently.
Yeah.
A black shiny button killed it with men, and
I like black shiny things, sure.
And lowered conversions for women. And we ended up doing like a soft orange for women.
Nice ochre moment. Yeah.
Phthalo yellow.
Yeah.
Bob Ross this. But it like demographic, like color.
And that made a noticeable difference. Yeah.
But the hard and fast rule that is always true for a call to action button is high contrast.
Yeah.
Like it should stand out on a page. And there's You can even go to color picker sites and you can put in your brand colors and it will tell you the exact opposite of that color.
Right.
Like there's
Go with that one.
yeah, there's some really
Your
good
marketing manager will go, no, we need it to match. Like, no.
No, we don't. No, we don't. You gotta
Yeah.
gotta love the standout. So there's ways to like, oh, how do I pick a high contrast color? There's some good tools out there.
Okay. Awesome. Well, I'd love to do a little, I guess, tutorial and show people how you built this and kind of how the sausage is made.
Yeah, let's do it.
So can you just show real fast where you are in the ClickBank account again? So
Yeah, of course. So I am in vendor settings under my order form. If you had legacy order forms before, there's a link to get to the new just right on top, and then it leads you to this page.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, let's go ahead and create that order form. All right.
That works for me, yeah.
And then one thing to note is that we do have multiple layouts available for customization, options for split testing, I would say. There are some good things to kind of think about when you're choosing one. And I would say whether or not it's a physical product and you're collecting shipping, like you got to think about what goes below the fold, especially when you start adding custom images in there. But there's multiple layouts to choose. Individual sections is our default, but there's like you can have columns with background. You can choose the orientation of the payment button, which is that red rectangle with that represents.
Oh, I see. Okay, yeah.
So, but options.
Gotcha. And so so we're starting with just the kind of the default, which is, I imagine, the most split tested one to show.
Yes.
Conversions, yeah.
Yep. Okay.
So now we're in the, what would you call this? The WYSIWYG, the what you see is what you get builder?
Yeah, customizer.
Yeah. The customizer.
The customizer.
The ClickBank-amizer. Okay.
And there's a couple cool things just about this tool in general to note. Like you can choose what product you want to see in the customizer while you're doing it. So
cool. Okay.
Like going back to that one that we looked at earlier, so I can see that it includes that. And you'll see that the fields dynamically change based on that, right? So there wasn't a shipping information before.
Oh, for digital product or physical product?
Yeah,
gotcha.
just so it's as you're building it, it's a similar experience to what the customer will see while you're building
Awesome.
it. Yeah. So yeah, let's get going here. So you can adjust the style of the form itself on this tab. The modules that you add are here, so you can either drag and drop or just click a drop zone, and we're gonna pick an image. So we're gonna go with our header image, and you'll see that
And these are images we've loaded in here already? Is that
yeah, I've uploaded them, but let's say if I was starting from scratch, I would just click this button, pick my image, and it'll...
Nice. And do we have, is there recommended sizes for these different areas?
There are.
Okay.
Yeah. And in fact, actually, the width,
right there. Oh,
yeah.
I can see. Okay. 26 pixels.
We have little indicators right in the UI for...
Well, isn't that handy?
And as you click through different sizes, it lets you know what the recommended sizes are.
So now we're in a tablet view.
Mm-hmm.
All mobile?
Yep.
I imagine most is mobile, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that it would show. Because you want to make sure that the image quality is solid and important.
And sorry, if I'm getting ahead of you, please tell me to wait. But like if I'm uploading like my banner image, do I have to upload 3 different sizes for the desktop, tablet, and mobile?
Yeah.
Okay.
If as long as there are different images that you want to use.
Mm-hmm.
So now let me talk about how to use this, how to change this actually for a mobile version of it. So like this looks really great on desktop, but when I shrink my screen down, I might want to use a different header image that has a better layout for mobile.
Okay. So I guess what would this one look like on mobile right now? Would it even show up, or would it?
Right now, as is, without any adjustments, it will show up on mobile, but it will shrink down.
Okay.
But we know that we can optimize for mobile. So what I might do for this is I would come down to responsive settings for this mobile or for this module for this
Okay,
image.
so I've selected that image. So I'm just hitting this image. Okay.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and say hide this one on mobile, and then I can either add that add the image here, or like if I'm going into mobile, looking at it on a mobile view after I've done that, what I can do.
Oh, so if you hadn't selected hide, would it still show here?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And actually, do you want me to show you that real fast?
Yeah. So I can be dense understanding.
Yeah. So if I had left it all by itself, come over to mobile.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, it's kind of like this little squish thing on the top there.
Yeah, and like the words aren't as legible.
Yeah.
So what I would do for that, so let me come back over here and adjust to hide this one on mobile. And then let me go ahead and add a better version of this for mobile. So you'll see same highlights that were mentioned on the other header image, same bullet points, but it's done vertically, same product image. It's the vertical orientation, which is going to perform better on mobile.
Nice. And then would you have to hide this on tablet and desktop?
So if you come in and you actually add it into these other versions, it's going to default.
Auto do it. Okay. Yeah. So desktop is desktop kind of the default setting?
Yeah.
Okay. And then tablet and mobile will make those specific settings?
Yeah.
Perfect.
So because it knows if you're coming in on mobile and you're adding it for
this is
mobile.
Great. Yeah. Because
it's a little more intuitive.
The way people used to do this on ClickBank was like they have to make unique order forms parameters that to load if someone was coming from like a mobile or like a different lander and stuff like that. So now you just have one order form that can be mobile responsive to what people are using.
Yeah, and
that's dope. Okay.
And it, not just shrinking down the images, but like actually choosing better images that are suited. So, and then continuing on our journey here. So we'll go ahead and add
adding a module. Okay.
Product highlights that we saw in there before, and add that trusted for over thousands of users. Well, you can tell I'm a product person. I'm like users, customers. Got to remember our audience here. Coming down to the buy that pay button, like I have that drop zone here. I want to take advantage of. So I'm going to go ahead and add that selling fast image. And then we had the testimonials. So I can go ahead and add those in here. And then how long did that take? That
was very fast. So I guess the longest part would just be making these images for your brand, right?
Yeah, I think
Kartra or some of the other tools out there. Yeah, you can mock those up pretty quickly. Wow. So sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to add, like when you're creating the images, and I think you're right, Thomas, that is the most laborious part of this, right? Coming in and using the tool is certainly not. We have an article in our ClickBank knowledge base that has examples of different images that you can use for both mobile and desktop. So we'll come down and you'll see, here's the one that we used for ours.
Oh yeah,
but
awesome.
Here's like how you could do that same layout with a digital product or having seals.
Cool.
And like even starting with simple branding, just like you were talking about, like you can just start simple.
Yeah, so if you just need to be inspired, you can come here, get ideas, go tweak colors and okay, this is really cool. And is there, you can go back to the order form editor.
Of course.
I guess, we can link to that knowledge base article in the video description. So go check that out for those resources. That's great because it's always like kind of like how can I not start from zero, right? How can I just like kind of get inspired? But again, I would start with like simple. Start with a banner image, start with the product image, and then split test from there kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can you add modules somewhere or are the modules locked to the template? If that makes sense. Like, because am I understanding correctly that the modules, what you can add things to?
Yeah, these are things that elements that you add to the order form. So
Okay.
you can add, and we could show some of these other ones. Like for this, we've used primarily images, but you can, like, let's say I knew what benefits I wanted to position to a customer, but I didn't have an image for that. What I could do is I could do this as a text instead, right? Like award
Okay.
winning product formula. And I could type that out in the text box. I could use the text editing to change the font, to bold it, to change the color, and make it stand out without having to create an image for it. But yeah, you can do text. We also have, here, let me go ahead and delete that one. We have an image plus text one, and then you can put dividers like to delineate sections from each other. So like I just added a divider.
And I think in that image, can you open up, say, just a Trusted by Thousands one? I think I saw there was like padding options and some different.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can actually mess around with like.
And you can mess with the alignment. Yeah.
Okay, so you can really dial it into where and what you need it to be. Okay. And is padding, is that like a border? Or no, borders are different.
Padding is like how much space between the edge. Yeah. So it defaults to 0 padding, but if I wanted to bring that in smaller, I can adjust that through the padding. And then there's this background that it doesn't really matter until you do that, because the default is 0 padding. Like we assume when you add the image that you want it to fill up that space. But you could, right? Like I could shrink this down and then put either the same background color or a different one. Just to
how do I change the background color of the whole order form?
Let's because that is a really important thing, right? You want to match the page that it came from. So you come down to
so style. So is module for whatever specific module you're editing, and then styles for the whole order form itself.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. So the one that's most relevant is the main background. But like, let's say I wanted to do that ClickBank blue.
Okay.
Right. I can do.
So your main background, there's top module, which is where that. Okay,
yep,
gotcha.
Where the top module background, and the reason why that you might want to customize this differently is if you have like a header image, but you want it to extend the whole screen, not just above the box. So let's say I didn't have this border.
It's all white or something.
Yeah. Then I could go in and be like, okay, well then, like let me use the white.
Okay.
Ooh. Accidental clicking all over the place.
Okay, so you've changed. Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
So looks pretty clean. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
So
that.
you can adjust that, and then the same with the footer, right? Like if I want it to look like it's part of the entire form and not just the sections where the inputs are.
And then, how long can I make one of these order forms? Like if I wanted to, not that I don't think you should necessarily, but like if I wanted to add like things below this, can I just keep going down?
Yeah. So you just keep adding modules. And I think I have to fact check myself, but I think that each
How do I break this actually?
Yeah. How do you not memorize everything?
Yeah.
I usually do. But I think each drop zone has a max of 20 modules. So you could hypothetically add a ton of these, but I for sure would not recommend it. Like I can't.
There's probably some very specific use cases, like maybe the example I used earlier, where you almost have like a close page. It's not so much an order form, but it's like learn more, and then there's more stuff than the buy option on that page, kind of thing. So it's like
if you
almost
were
a
using
two-step in a way,
as a double pitch.
Yeah, exactly. But that's getting fairly advanced and nuanced in the market. You typically just want someone to come and buy. So.
But yeah, the option exists so that you can add content to multiple drop zones and really suit what you need it to, and that you have options to test additional things.
And I see some like receipt styling. What is that? On the left, above add custom CSS, which I'll ask about next.
That's not supposed to be there.
Okay. We'll pretend I didn't ask that. And then so the add custom CSS when would I use that and why would I use that?
Okay, this is a great question.
And sorry, for some context too, that used to be the only way you could like really do what you're doing now in ClickBank. You had to have like a CSS editor, someone who knew how to edit CSS and how to work with our order form, and that you could customize it, and it was quite advanced. So with this WYSIWYG, what you see is what you get builder. Why would you use custom CSS now?
For more advanced customization,
Okay.
and there's a few things that I think are more common use cases that we see people do that. One thing I will say is this custom CSS. This is in final stages of pilot, and it will be generally available very soon.
Okay.
But the cool thing that you noted about this is the way that it was done before is you had to upload a CSS sheet, and it applied on top of the form, and there wasn't like style up to a certain point and then add your custom CSS on top of it.
Oh, so you can raise the floor essentially, and then
like let's say
customize it further.
I use these like
You can basically
built-in
customize the
style
template, yeah.
options
Okay.
and modules to get it as close to what I want, and then I can use CSS on top of that. That way I don't have to use it for everything. And yeah, you just go in. This is a code editor. Like I can drop in my code. There's some really cool things about this. Like we have special classes for sections on the order form. So like let's say I wanted to target either those bump styling in general or for a specific bump.
Yeah.
I can do that, and it has the.
So you can get really nuanced with what you want to edit and how you want to edit things with CSS.
For sure. So we want to make sure that we accommodate.
I'd say this is probably for like the 1%ers, right? This is not for
advanced. Yeah. You would have to have CSS knowledge to be able to do this well. I mean, we have some pretty basic guides for folks, but it is nice to have that be an option. And the other great thing about this that didn't exist with the old order form is you could preview as you go. Like I could target.
Oh, that's huge. Gosh. Yeah, that was a pain. Okay. So is there like, can I upload a GIF, whatever you want to yell at me for the wrong way I'm saying it? Can I upload that as an image to this?
Not yet.
Okay. Not yet, but maybe.
What I will say is there's some additional exciting modules that are.
Ooh, stay tuned. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you can, like, there's more here, right? Like this secure checkout banner, I can customize that to look differently, stand out, have a different font. The form itself, I can mess with this. I can make it a different color. I can, get rid of a drop shadow, have a drop shadow.
Okay.
I can modify the text, the fields, the pay button. So let's say I have a different high contrast color that I want to use instead. I can do that. There's also some variations for the call to action on it.
Okay. So you can change the text on the pay button here with drop down. Okay.
Yep.
You can't add your own, right? It has to be its.
Nope. This is all translated, right?
Okay.
So like it accommodates different languages, and we have some other things that it's using. Like it's not listed here in the preview, but if we go back to that order form, it's like by clicking pay now, you agree to the terms of sale. So that's dynamic. So there's a few reasons why we have that drop down in there rather than free text.
Makes a ton of sense. Yeah. No, I guess this might be a good time to call out, right, that when I can see there's a submit for review button, right, instead of like a publish button, like you might expect like a WordPress template builder or something, right? Totally. Because our compliance team, business services team is going to review this for FTC, FDA compliance and all that kind of stuff. So, but I did want to call out something I think we kind of glossed over. You were adding images directly in this editor, right?
Yeah.
You didn't have to go to like a separate tab and upload images and then go and try to add images later.
That's right.
Thank you.
Okay. That's right. So you're getting it approved as a whole, right? You don't have to go get images approved and then use them on the order form.
Yeah.
It's just a all-inclusive experience. And the other thing that
I would call out to our clients listening to this that I would make if you're going to do like custom CSS, for example, I would make your template as you want it, close to what you want it, submit that for review, and then probably do the custom CSS on top. That way you're not trying to like edit things that might get, hey, we need you to change this image or something later, and then you're coming back.
No, I would do it all, because once an order form is approved, you can duplicate it so that you can, like, I want to split test it against a change.
Sure.
But you can't go back in and edit because it's already been approved. So I would. Gotcha. I would say customize it, make it everything you want.
Good call.
And if it requires editing, one of the things that didn't exist before if you were using CSS is you can go in and edit it. It's not
just have to re-upload a whole other thing.
You don't have to re-upload it. Like
that's great.
It's on-page editing. And then the other cool thing that I just want to note for people who do use order bumps, you can customize this. You can like make it stand out. I can use different colors. I can change the font color. I can play with my bump appearance as well.
Awesome. Okay. This is great. And the fact that you can just then get your desktop set and then go to mobile and keep customizing that. Do you have any stats on mobile versus desktop buyers, like as far as number or percentages?
It depends on the offer for sure and where the traffic is coming from. But I would say generally, I think it's over 50%.
Mobile. Yeah. I'd almost tell clients to start with mobile and then build your desktop kind of thing. It's like, as far as
mobile first
optimizing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go optimize your mobile page for your lander first, because where most of the buyers are coming from, and then go customize your desktop one. Yeah.
So one thing that I would say if you're talking about mobile is not only using different versions of the images, but maybe not using certain images at all, because the arrangement and where things go is gonna change. So like, for example, these product highlights, like I don't want them to create so much space between the header
buy action,
and where they start inputting. So I would, if it were me, I would hide that, and I would consider taking this image, and instead of having it be above the inputs, perhaps moving it down to be in one of these lower drop zones instead. And like, instead of using this long testimonial that gets really small, right? That I would go in
one main one or something, or stack them differently.
Yeah, I would hide this one on mobile, but then like I would go in and
do an image caption one, because you've got your headshots in there. You can do like a headshot kind of thing, right? Yeah.
That relevant use case, right? But then I can use a different version of the image that's going to look much better on mobile. And like this image that was previously right below the pay button is not going to show there. So I don't want this to be present at all. So I think it's really important, like when you go in and you design your order form, don't think about it simply on one device or the other. Like really, really pay attention and go in and look and play with it and see how it all lays out, because you'll choose to do things differently. And that's one of the great things about this tool, is it allows you to do that in a really robust way. So
this is great. So what resources do we have available? So we have, you can just go to your vendor settings, my order form. You can start messing with this. You've got the knowledge base, which we'll link to. And I saw that there's links to, and you open things up back to our knowledge base in different headers. Update some resources here.
What else is here available?
Yeah, I guess what would you want someone to know who is starting to mess with this?
So there are guides. There's if you're moving from a legacy order form to a new one, there's additional information here that you would not see otherwise. So we have a welcome video that pops up the first time that you go into this tool that kind of explains like where the new order form comes from and like why you would want to switch. There is a link to the knowledge base that also walks you through just like how the tool works, updates, and then there are walkthroughs. Like if for the new order form features. It takes you through, shares details about it. For making the switch, like for people who are actually moving from the old to the new, there is more information here, like considerations for
Because here's how you can actually, here's like from how to make the order form switch.
Yeah,
Okay.
and what would go into that decision making, because we've released new features as they've become available. Like we started with this customizer tool, but now exit offers is in here, and it has similar WYSIWYG functionality. Like you can do way more with exit
this
offers.
other one on the old is basic. It's like very super simple.
Yeah, it's text, right? But you can have images, and
Right.
that one does have customizable call to action text.
Oh, cool. Okay. This is
And then this is kind of cool, but like how you can switch by changing your payment link or by not changing your payment link. And there's details about how to do all of that. We've tried to
not having to update your payment link to switch to the new order form is huge. Like that's significant.
Yeah,
and
especially
then,
those folks who have tons of sales pages.
I guess basic question, but how, okay, I've gotten it approved. I've made this, I've gotten it approved. It's good to go. How do I actually make it load on my order, on my sale, from my sales page now?
Yeah, great question. So you would have it be in your payment link. So to have an order form, a custom order form load, there is a parameter that you pass through your payment link. And one of the cool things in this tool is we have a payment link generator right in the tool. You just click this little button here.
Oh, look at that.
So it's going
This is how to build a payment link. You just do it right here.
Yeah.
This is great. Okay.
Yeah. I can just pick my...
This was like my whole job when I was an account manager. It's like, how do I build a payment link? I'm like, okay, I'll just do this 14,000 times a day.
Yeah. So this makes it
yeah.
really easy. So you can just generate a fresh new payment link.
Your mom's died. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
You select the template from here.
Template, and then it has all the other things that you could potentially, like I can pick
Awesome.
my upsell flow. If I happen to be passing coupons through a payment link, there's an option to do that. You can have a vendor tracking ID in here. So you just, there's all the things that could go into a payment link. I think the most common ones are really just like product template upsell flow.
Yep.
And
then that'll give you the actual payment link with that parameter. Where is it? Oh yeah, so you see items equals 7, so that's the right product, and then template equals Thomas, because that's the best template ever.
It is.
And so I guess that's a big change. If you're someone who's legacy with us, who's been using the old order form, it used to be CB Skin, right? CB Skin equaled Thomas, which sounds like I'm a skinwalker, but now you've got template equals Thomas. Okay, so that's great, awesome.
Yep.
So you just copy right out there, put that into your sales page, and then that will load the new order form.
Exactly right.
I love it.
Yep. Yeah. And then, for folks that have a lot of existing payment links out there, definitely check out the guide. We've made it easy for you not to have to, if that's just cumbersome. Like it's pretty simple. Like for example, if I was over here and using this custom
This looks
template-
way better though over here, Ashley.
Does it?
No, it looks terrible.
Yeah.
No.
Cool. Yeah. Love to hear that. Makes me feel great.
New one's way better.
But you're right. CB skin equals, right? And then there's a parameter. And so one thing you can do to not change your payment links is whatever that parameter is. So like my CB skin equals 20949. I would just go over back,
Oh, okay.
back to my, and like, let's say I want the affiliated, our brand new shiny template to go there. What I would do is there's this template settings, like where I had my URL parameter, and I would just go
Oh,
boop, do that one instead. And if they match, it will load the new one instead of the old one.
that's huge. So just to clarify, so now they don't have to go back to their sales pages or all that kind of stuff and change the actual code on their sales page at all.
No.
They can just change that setting
Yep.
and get a new order form.
Yep.
Do it. Wow. Okay, that makes it super simple then. So you can just mock up your new order form on the better tech, on the faster loading, all that kind of good stuff. Go copy your old CB skin, put it into your new template as a URL parameter, and it'll load the new one.
Baby cake's easy.
That's great. Okay, because I guess we should say the timing is TBD, but depending on when you're watching this video and when we release it. But yeah, the legacy order form link you see up there on the screen is going to go away eventually, and this is the true default only thing you can use.
Yeah. We're not too far away. So these custom order forms you can go build right now.
Yeah.
They're in everyone's account.
Right.
Exit offers, everyone's account. Like, and they're like, honestly, just having the ability to have images in those now is just awesome. Chef's kiss. And then the two things that are coming are the CSS customization, which is very close. We're kind of last stages of early access pilot, and then countdown timers is coming very, very quickly. So
I guess then it sounds like more exciting modules to be added as you see fit, which is exciting.
Excited.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
I have been very impressed at how fast y'all can update this and kind of get things rolled out with it compared to the old stack and the old tech. So, no, I think I'm very excited for the clients who can kind of get their hands on this, or I guess who have their hands on this, who've been messing with it already, and for everyone to get moved over to it because, yeah, it's going to mean more money for everybody in the long run because it's just incremental
absolutely.
improvements.
And the other thing that I will add is like this is where our investment is going for new customization features, additional performance improvements. Like this is the place to be.
I love it. Well, if you're watching right now, I want you to go to your ClickBank account, go to your vendor settings, go to the My Order form and start messing with this, making some awesome templates that you can start testing and, yeah, really beating the crap out of your old one. So, no, thank you, Ashley. This is huge. Do check out the links in the description below. We'll link to the knowledge base articles and kind of walk through all this as well. I imagine we'll link back to this video and some of those knowledge base articles too, so you can just get stuck in a big circle. But go mess with this. The fact that you can move over your old skins to the new templates without changing your sales pages at all is massive. And that's a huge quality of life that your team's done. So thank you for doing that.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, any last words, Ashley?
Let's go convert.
Yeah, let's go convert. Awesome. Well, I'm excited to see y'all in the comments. Drop your questions on how to do whatever in the comments below. I'm sure we'll just link back to the tag in the video where we already covered it, but that's fine. And happy scaling, everybody. Let's get after it.